thing I have been just really thinking about. You may have also, as you watch the news, as you come across different people, you may think about common sense. So I think about my philosophy is common sense really common? You know, should we assume that people have common sense, or is it a thing to begin with? And so, as I was reading the word, I came across Proverbs 8:5, and it says, "Learn to be shrewd. You who are inexperienced, develop common sense. You who are foolish." And so I'm thinking, okay, so common sense is a thing, and it's actually in the Word of God. And so it says, "Develop common sense, you who are foolish." So that's saying that those who are foolish do not have common sense, and they need to develop it. And so also I went into Proverbs 9:10, and it says, "The fear of the," I read, because I'm reading through Proverbs right now. It says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding." So in order to begin to have wisdom, we have to fear the Lord and be the righteousness of God. Fear the Lord, meaning respect the Lord and follow his commandments. So that's the beginning of wisdom. And so I think about common sense, and common, when you think about something being common, you think about it happening around you very consistently or very often. And the definition, the Oxford definition of common is occurring, found, or done often and prevalent. So I thought about when I went to Peru last year, and the common thing to do in Peru is to eat guinea pig. And so on the menus, or wherever you go, you see chicken, you see shrimp, you see beef, you see guinea pig. And so I ate guinea pig just because that's what they were doing in Peru. And so I took a picture of that and sent it to my friend, and they're like, "Ew, did you really eat that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So it was common in Peru to eat guinea pig, but here in where I am in America, it was not common. It is not common to eat guinea pig. So that tells me that something being common depends on your environment. So, and then when it comes to sense, sense means a feeling that something is the case. And it's also like a natural way of thinking. It's like, it comes naturally. If you touch the stove, you're gonna burn your hands, so don't touch the stove. That's common sense. If you play with fire, you get burned. And that reminds me, so something that is not common sense is something that doesn't make sense. It is like, why would you do that? Something's wrong with you if you're doing that. So that reminds me in Mark 9, when the boy kept throwing himself into the fire, and that's something that's not within the word. There's a story, and that's something that doesn't make sense for a boy to throw himself into the fire all his life, and that boy had a demon. But just as an example, another example of something or someone not having common sense or showing an explanation of that, I read in Proverbs 9. I read about folly, and the definition of folly in the Oxford Dictionary is lack of good sense. So I'm just going to read, because there's a passage about wisdom, and there's a passage about folly. And the way it's written within the word is as if it's a being, because it has a pronoun. Proverbs 9:13. It says, The woman folly is rowdy. She is gullible and knows nothing. She sits by the doorway of her house on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling to those who pass by, who go straight ahead on their paths. Whoever is inexperienced, enter here. To the one who lacks sense, she says, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten secretly is tasty. But he doesn't know that the departed spirits are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol. So specifically, I thought it was interesting that folly believes that stolen water is sweet and bread eaten secretly is tasty, because that's stealing, and folly enjoys stealing. And to us as believers, it's not common sense to steal, because as those who are foolish or those who have folly, they don't see the spiritual side of things, so they see things in the natural sense. So when you're stealing, you're trying not to get caught by people. And so we as Christians, we and believers, we understand that no matter what you do, you're gonna get caught regardless. Whether you get caught by man or not on this earth, you're definitely gonna get caught by God in heaven, because he sees all things. He has an aerial view of everything we're doing. So it's kind of like if you were to look down into a maze, and if you were to see a person, hiding from someone else around the corner and trying to get around, but it looks like that person within that maze is hiding from the other person. But if you have an aerial view of the maze, you can see everything that's going on in it. So that's how God is looking down at us. Like, he sees everything we're doing. So if you're stealing, it may be man that you're hiding from, but God sees it all. While man can put you in jail, while man can have control over your flesh, God has control over your flesh and your spirit. So that's what we really want to think about when we're doing something, either right or wrong. So thinking about that and thinking about common sense. Common sense is really only common in the environment that you're in. So if you're in the environment, just like I was saying, when I was in Peru, what we did in Peru was common in that area, so it was understandable to eat guinea pig. But here in America, it's not understandable. So think about your circle. So the circle that you're in is, if you believe, or if we believe that common sense is not common, are we saying that because of the circle we're in? So if it's because of the circle we're in, then we may need to confront that circle, or we may need to change our circle, because if common sense is lacking in around us, then we need to change to a circle of people that do have that common understanding of what to do and what not to do. Common sense. So I just wanted to share that, and we're going to see how this looks.